Working in a public health clinic on the outskirts of Sabah, Malaysia, situated in the island of Borneo, I often see a young girl sitting on a wooden bench waiting in line for an antenatal checkup. The fetus in her uterus is growing faster than her mind and body at 30 weeks. As I dispense her antenatal vitamins over the counter, listening to a soft, timid voice saying "Terima kasih," which means thank you in Malay, makes me wonder what her future will be like as a young mother who dropped out of school and needing to serve her husband at home. Could things have been different if she wasn't married? Who will she become in the future if she hasn't gotten pregnant in her teens? Good day to all distinguished community members, respected school principals and teachers, and dedicated advocates. My name is Carmen, and I stand before you today to share with you about a matter, or some may regard it as a taboo, that greatly impacts our societies, our families, and our young individuals who will become future leaders in the next generation to come. This is a topic we scarcely talk about in the open, a topic that is not just data collected that we research on, but it is a matter of preserving the well-being of our teenagers. This is the reality that affects the quality of lives, future, and dreams of our growing teens. Teenage pregnancy. It is high time we start addressing these issues now, before it is too late. In year 2019, WHO reported about 50% of the young unmarried girls aged 15 to 19 years old had an unplanned pregnancy in low to middle income countries. The number of 41 births per 1,000 girls were reported, with 14% of maternal death in year 2020. Now, let's look at the statistics in Malaysia. Among the 13 states, Ministry of Health Malaysia revealed that Sarawak had the highest reported unmarried teen pregnancy cases in year 2022, at 859 cases reported, followed by Sabah at 329 cases. On the bright side, there was a reduction in the number of new antenatal cases registered in government health facilities among teens from 10,349 cases in year 2019 to 8,153 cases in year 2022. Why are the large numbers of teen pregnancies a concern? Although a decreased number was observed, teen pregnancies continue to be a major public health problem, and it is a concern among low to middle class societies. It involves minors who are still growing mentally, physically, and emotionally. If not dealt with urgently, it will be like cancer cells invading the community, encouraging and producing an ignorant society to continue with this perception, thinking that it is alright to do so. Teenage pregnancy is a tangled issue that is coiled around various factors such as societal, economic, and personal factors. The numbers, as I've mentioned at the start, are merely the beginning of this concern. For all that, the highlight is the challenges that demands for a compassionate, empathetic bond and a cooperative effort towards the prevention and protection of these young lives. So, what are the impacts of teenage pregnancy? Imagine yourself at age 15. What were your ambitions back then? This very minute, somewhere in the world, a 15-year-old girl is learning to be a mother, changing diapers with just an oil lamp. Some are disowned by their family members, leaving them astray in the wilderness. These young mothers are likely to experience poor education, poverty, and unstable behaviors, which may lead to poor health outcomes that may also jeopardize the child's welfare. Moreover, these individuals are more likely to drop out of school at an early age, resulting in decreased economic opportunities and incomes in the future. This also puts a toll on the emotional and psychological effects of the individuals themselves. In terms of health, teenage pregnancies are more likely to suffer from maternal and neonatal complications during childbirth due to the structure and biological factors of their anatomy. Teenage pregnancy gives rise to mortality and morbidity rates. This also contributes to the chances of stillbirth, low birth weight for infants, and high-risk birth, which are life-threatening to both mother and baby. What can be done to save the community? Why is education an important stepping stone in combating this issue? Education is a human right that saves lives out of poverty, social disparities, and ensures a sustainable development for the future. Each of us deserves the right to education, regardless of gender, ethnicity, and social class. A study concluded that there is a connection between education attainment and the rate of teenage pregnancy. UNESCO reported about 244 million children out there are still out of school due to various factors which needs urgent attention, such as social, economic, and cultural norms. Young girls with no proper education are more likely to fall into teen pregnancy. On top of that, these girls opt to get married at a young age, thinking that it is another pathway in hopes to live a better life. Communities living in poverty tend to experience higher rates of teenage pregnancy due to the lack of access to education among the young. On the other hand, legalizing child marriage and early union is understood to be a contributor to sexual debut and teen pregnancies. As of year 2018, Malaysia estimates about 1,500 children marry every year. In the recent years, the amendment on the legal age to get married was increased from 16 to 18 years old. Despite that, the amendment still permits Muslim girls below 18 years old to be married under the Sharia court or respective state chief ministers. The authorities ought to put emphasis on this matter, as raising the minimum age to get married legally would reduce the number of teen pregnancies significantly. Not only that, the number of dropouts from school is expected to lessen, as there are more opportunities for these girls to focus on learning and developing new skills. I would like to share a conversation I had with a young girl during a medical camp I volunteered in. Our medical camps serve the stateless people of Semporna, situated in Sabah. They are commonly known as the Sea Gypsies or Bajau Laut in Malay. Being stateless, they have no access to proper health care, education, and housing. This young girl then told me they were born to work for their parents as children, selling plastic bags at the market or helping tourists to carry their luggage for tips. Some even begged for money. Needing to strive each day to survive, they have implanted a mindset of getting married at a young age with no legal documentation and producing children so that they could rest at home while their kids earn a living for them. This is a vicious cycle, and even more, due to the lack of education among these stateless children, they continue to live the way it is according to their norms. This also gives evidence that cultural norms and their way of life bring practices like this to arise. As we are all here today in hopes of a new tomorrow, let us think about our future leaders and generation. Let us reflect on what has been drawn to the attention that teenage pregnancy should be put to a stop. Let us all work together with this issue in mind with empathy and action. Let us speak up for the vulnerable, prescribing policies that safeguard the rights of these young girls and empower them to choose education. Let us support, nurture, and educate them to succeed, directing them to positive pathways through their teen years. Retaining girls in school at an early age must be the end goal to reduce the risk of being a young mother, ultimately enhancing their quality of life. Providing various services and information is important in spreading the awareness of teenage pregnancies and sex education among adolescents, creating a safe environment for them to trust and seek help. Before I end my speech today, I would like each of you to think about how we can play a part in curbing this issue within the society. Let us focus on the root of the issue, deciphering the fundamentals, as every step makes a difference to the lives of many young adults and their families. It can be challenging at times, but with perseverance and determination, every teenager will have the chance of living their full capabilities. Who knows, one day, they are the individuals who will lead the town, the city, or even the country in the future. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Thank you.